What is up, everybody? My name is Maxi Nitro, and welcome to this video. We're going to be talking about Helldivers 2. Um, I've been seeing a lot of things online of people saying that not all the weapons are viable, or that some stratagems are just really not useful at all. And I'm here to say that no, in reality, the reality is that every stratagem is useful, and that every weapon is useful too. You either suck with it, don't know how to use it, or most likely the reason is you're using it for the wrong job, my dude. Okay, everything is viable now. Because to be honest, I saw a video of somebody too, like using the laser cannon against like a vile titan and saying that the weapon sucked, and I'm like, dude, if, of course it sucks. If you're gonna be using like a secondary weapon against a vile titan, of course you're gonna be saying that it sucks. That is not the main purpose of the weapon. Okay, now full disclaimer, you should play however you want and use whatever you want and use it however you want. Honestly, it's your game. You should be free of doing whatever the hell you want with your game. To me, that's not a problem. As long as you're not being toxic to people, I think you should be able to do whatever the hell you want, right? If actually, even if you want to troll people, that is fine, as long as you're trolling your friends and not like random people online. I'm fine with that, you know. Like, it's whatever, dude. It's just do whatever the hell you want. You don't have to, you know, follow all this and whatnot and whatever. Now, the thing is, like, there is a lot of confusion about the game and the stratagems and whatnot. Again, every stratagem is useful. It just depends on which front line you take it to. Like, are you taking it against the automatons? Are you taking it against the terminite? It also affects, like, who are you using it against, right? Or what type of objective are you running? Like, before you go into the planet, you have information about the type of missions that you're going to be encountering on the ground, the type of effects that are happening in the planet. Like, you have this information prior dropping it into the planet. Again, you can take whatever you want, do whatever you want. It's your game. You should be free to do whatever the hell you want, right? It's your game. But I'm just gonna be giving you some tips, tricks, whatnot, some helpful information about the things that are currently in the game and how they've been very helpful to me and how I've been using them in combat and whatnot. Now you might be thinking, why should I listen to you? Well, I have a little bit over 200 hours in the game, and I've done a lot of hell dives by myself and with other people. I've been playing with random people too, and I've been finding a lot of success. So it's not the game is hard, but the game can be hard if you make it hard. The game can be very easy if you try to make it very easy. Like, it's entirely up to you. We're gonna be starting with the weapons, just the primary weapons, secondary weapons. That is like the bread and butter of the Helldivers, and that is like the easiest thing that we can talk about because everybody has them, right? Well, let's start with the secondaries. Of course, just use the secondary as a secondary. You have the Peacemaker, you have the Redeemer, and you have the Senator. Those are the three different secondary weapons that you can use in this game. Secondary is just that. It's a secondary weapon. If you run out of ammo on your primary weapon, switch to your secondary. It's faster than reloading. But don't expect that to do the heavy load or the heavy work of a primary weapon, because it's not going to. Not even the Redeemer. Even though the Redeemer is really good, it's not going to help you pull through, you know? So, for example, the Peacemaker is the most well-balanced weapon pistol, the most well-balanced secondary. Between the Redeemer and the Senator, it's literally in between these two. If you want something good hidden, with good accuracy, with good fire rate, a good magazine, a good reload speed and whatnot, that is like right in between. It doesn't do anything great. It's just very well balanced. The Redeemer is your fast firing, essentially a submachine gun in your hand. You can use it with one hand. Very good, very cool. Clears the little guys very well. And the Senator is the completely opposite. You get 6 shots, and then you just have to reload 1 per shot. And it does a lot of damage, actually. It does quite a good amount of damage. It has a little bit of knockback, too. Sometimes, not every time. But it reloads very slowly. Now, one of the things... Let's take my super advanced technology system over here. We're gonna be using paint over here. This is our best technology. So when I talk about heavy dudes, medium dudes, or light dudes, this is what I mean. On the Terminite side, I mean heavy means Titans, Chargers. Mediums are the Spewers, the Stalkers, the Brute Commanders, and the Hive Guards. And the lights are the Scavengers, your Warriors, and your Hunters. On the Automaton side, you have the heavies as Hulk, tanks, dropships, and the gun towers. Then your medium are the Devastators, the Berserkers, the Scout Striders. Some people might argue against that, but just follow along. And then the light are going to be your troopers and the commissars. Now, each one of those enemies in every single one of them has variants. Some of them have a little bit more armor or more armament, but they are almost the same. Okay, you can treat them about the same. We're also going to be talking about like the main weapons. Is it very effective against whatever you're trying to kill? Do you need good positioning or aiming, or you're going to need a lot of ammo, positioning, aiming, time, and some luck? So let's take a look at for example, the secondary weapons, right? Secondary weapons, all of them, all of the secondary weapons. When you're talking about them, they are very good at doing one thing, which is killing the little guys. So light ones, yep, you're going to be very, very good at it. No issues whatsoever. So right here, this is for secondary weapons. Secondary weapons against Terminite and against automatons, very good against light targets. Mediums, you are definitely going to need good positioning or aiming and a little bit of ammo. You're not going to be able to kill them that fast. You're going to have a faster time. No, it's going to be about the same against automatons and Terminites. And the Hulks, the tanks, that is a big no-no. Do not fight the big boys with these things. Unless you absolutely need to. You're not going to be killing them at all. If anything at all. Like, straight up, you try to kill a Titan or a Charger, a Hulk or a tank with a secondary, with a pistol. No, you're not going to have a good time. Now, the Senator has the most damage between these three. So you might get a little bit lucky with those. And you might actually be able to kill the big boys with that. But still, that's like 6 shots that you get in your magazine, and you're still going to be struggling. Even, like, it's not good. Treat it as a secondary. That's exactly what it is. Just don't do anything else with it. Is it for crowd control, heavy killer, multi-purpose, or outpost clearer? None of those. It's a secondary. You use it because you don't have any ammo, or you're carrying an SSD and you have a primary weapon. That's it, right? Now, let's go to the primaries, starting with the assault rifles. Liberator, Liberator Penetrator, and Liberator Concussive. They changed the name on that one. It used to be Explosive. Pretty good rifles. All of them. Very well balanced. Probably the most well balanced out of all the weapons. No cons, but no pros. The Liberator has the biggest ammo magazine of the assault rifles, and it has a pretty good fire rate. It falls a little bit short on the damage side of things. It's not a perfect weapon, but it's the first thing that you start with, and it's pretty well balanced. This one, it's good against the lights, and it's okay against the mediums. You can definitely kill things on the medium side, as long as you actually know how to aim. Heavies, you can't kill the heavies with the primaries. You just have to be able to aim at the weak spots and expect to be using a lot of ammo for that. You should probably be using a stratagem or a support weapon to take care of the bigger dudes or the heavy dudes. Mediums and lights, you should be able to take care of them with the primaries, with any of the primaries, honestly. Lights, just shoot away anything, anywhere, that's fine. Mediums, you're gonna have to use a little bit more either aiming or ammo. That's just how it is. The Penetrator has a little bit less magazine and a little bit less damage, but it has the trait of medium armor penetrating. so you can actually penetrate things like the hive guards from the front pretty easily, and you can actually kill the scout striders relatively easily from the front as long as you're aiming to the correct spot. So and by that I mean like the striders, you have the big shield on the front with the little thing over here, and then you have a little part over here, and then the legs, right? You can actually shoot this part with the penetrator and kill the enemies. You might be able to shoot them through the hole. The best bet is, just go around and kill them from behind, but you can definitely kill them from the front if you aim fairly well. The hive guard, they go into like a crowd position over here, right? You have your little dude over here. Most people tell you to aim to these spots over here, which works very well. But with the penetrator, you can actually just shoot straight up through the middle in any of these points, and you should be able to do damage to them without any issues at all. It's just going to consume a little bit more ammo. That is a yellow one. It's going to need some positioning and aiming and a little bit of ammo. But it's not a bad weapon. It's not a bad weapon at all. I find it mostly more useful against the automatons rather than the Terminite. But it's still like, it's not a bad weapon. It's not a bad weapon. It does come with an adjustable scope, so keep that in mind. This is mostly for medium range rather than long range or short range. Now, you can definitely use it in short, not a problem. Yeah, adjustable scope, 25, 75, and 150. Not a bad thing. Same applies to the other Liberator, the regular Liberator. That one also has an adjustable scope, 25, 50, and 100. Pretty well balanced. And, of course, you get the other one, the Concussive. The Concussive is also very good. It comes with the same damage as the original one. Less ammo, though, and a slower fire rate. The main thing is that it comes with a little bit of knockback, so you can actually interrupt the reinforcement call of the enemies. It's really useful. This one is useful against Terminite or automatons. You shouldn't have any issues with this thing. Again, this one, though, it's a little bit more finicky against the heavy ones, unless you absolutely hit the weak spots. If you're able to hit the weak spots, it's actually pretty good. But if you're not able to hit the weak spots, you're going to have a harder time killing things because of that damage reduction. That's just how it is. You said that one is good for crowd control and interrupting the reinforcement call. That's what you want to use it for. Now, let's move to the shotguns. All of the shotguns need to be used in a very short range, except for the slugger. Probably the slugger is probably the best shotgun at any range compared to the other shotguns, right? The Punisher, you definitely need to be close range. It has the biggest amount of damage out of all the shotguns, but it also doesn't have too much fire rate. It does have more rounds now, which is great. And it comes with the fact that you can reload one round at a time, so you don't really waste any ammo with this bad boy. Just keep in mind that if you take it into the battlefield, you want to be in the front line with this bad boy. Definitely in the front line, you don't want to be behind. So if you're here, you need your enemies to be like right here, right? That way you can actually kill them without any issues. Because if you are like right here and the enemy is all the way over here, that's too far away, dude. You're not gonna be able to kill them. It's a shotgun. Use it like a shotgun. Use it like a video game shotgun, rather, because that's just how video games work. All right. So, for any of the shotguns, they are actually a little bit better at dealing with the medium dudes than the rifles, the assault rifles. Mostly because they pack quite a bit more of a punch than the rifles. But again, it's a primary. It's not a Titan killer or a Hulk killer unless you are able to hit the weak spots. Hulks don't go down relatively easier than the Chargers do when hitting the weak spot, and the Bile Titans take a while. Do not engage Bile Titans with a shotgun. You're just don't do it. Or the tanks, the Annihilator tanks also, your bullets just kind of bounce out of the backside. Slugger has less damage. Same capacity, same fire rate, a little bit more recoil. No, the same recoil. Never mind. But it does do a pretty good job of killing things. It's not that one is not a crowd control. That one is just a heavy hitter. It's not a heavy killer. It's a heavy hitter. You can actually hit. I mean, it one shots all of the tiny dudes as long as you hit the head or the center of mass. Same for the troopers, center of mass or head. They go down in one shot. Devastators and Devastators, they can go down with one shot as long as you aim for the head. It might take you a couple. It depends on how far away you are from them. The closer you are, the more damage it does. So just keep that in mind. The slugger is a beautiful weapon, dude. More people should be using it, but it's a really good weapon. It's not a bad weapon. Breaker, yeah, continues to be the breaker. Very good firing. The only thing, like, just keep in mind the ammo count, because you're gonna be running through that ammo fairly quickly if you're not careful. It can definitely clean the crowds really easily, and it can deal with the medium dudes relatively easily. The problem is you will run out of the ammo pretty quickly, but it's still very useful. Breaker spray and pray, they actually the breaker incendiary and the breaker spray and pray are not that different. Main difference is the fire damage, but it's not that bad. Jesus Christ, people, why in the middle of a fucking live stream? Okay, whatever. So incendiary, very good. Fire damage. Okay, going back. So the Punisher is better against Terminite. Most shotguns are better against Terminite, because most of the Terminite enemies need to get close to you in order to do damage, and that is good for you because shotguns need to be used up close. They still work really well against automatons, but like, you don't want to get that close to automatons. You kind of want to fight them from afar, because the closer you are to them, the more likely they're going to be able to hit those shots. I mean, imagine they are able to snipe you from across the freaking map sometimes, right? But they are missing most of the time. Sometimes, not every time, but they can snipe you from very far away. The closer you are, the more likely they are to actually kill you, because they just get more accuracy the closer you are. That's just how it works. Incendiary, though, and all of the shotguns work better against Terminite. That's just how it is. Terminite are a little bit more squishy. Same for assault rifles. So assault rifles are better against the automatons rather than the Terminite, because they're a little bit more accurate, and you can kill a lot of the things in the automaton side as long as you're being accurate. For the Terminite, you don't really have to be accurate because there's so many of them, and spraying and praying actually works very well. Incendiary can actually kill chargers because of that incendiary property. It's just gonna take some ammo. It's that one is a yellow. Like, well, it's kind of like a red yellow. It's somewhere in between. It can kill them. It's just gonna require a lot of ammo, but you do have a lot of bullets with that thing. Use it for crowd control more than anything. Same with the breaker, spray and pray. That is crowd control more than anything. Breaker, it's also, that one is a multi-purpose. You can kill big dudes, medium dudes, or light dudes very well. Crowd control, heavy killer, works pretty well. Slugger is mostly for heavy hitter or heavy killer, or medium killer rather. Use it as that. It's better to kill because of that single shot. You're not, if you use the slugger, the enemies are going to swarm you and you're going to have a hard time. It's better against the automatons, but it's still extremely useful against the Terminite, so take it anywhere. Punisher, better against Terminite rather than the automatons. It's for a crowd controller, not very fast though, but it will get the job done as long as you are carefully aiming your shots. It has a higher skill floor, essentially, than the Breaker. Breaker doesn't really have much of a skill floor. So there you have it. SMGs, very good when you have the SSD objective, or you want to use something with your other hand. The Defender is an amazing weapon. It's very controllable, has very good amount of magazines. It has pretty good damage, or very decent damage. The only problem is the fire rate is pretty slow. So use it. It's good for, it's okay. It's a multi-purpose gun. If you know how to aim it, you will be able to kill medium enemies and light enemies without any issues. For the medium, though, you have to know how to aim. So medium being, spears, stalkers, brute commanders, hive guards, devastator, berserkers, and scout striders. You need to know where to aim, how to aim, and you're going to be killing everything. If you don't know how to aim, or you struggle aiming, you're not going to be killing things very fast, and that fire rate is going to be kind of bad for you. But it's a very good weapon. Marksman rifles are marksman rifles. Both of them work very similarly. The main difference is that the diligence has it's a little bit weaker and it has more ammo. Fire rate is about the same, diligence being a little bit faster than the counter sniper. But you should use it as, as a marksman rifle. If your buddies are here and the enemy is right here, you don't want to be here or here. You want to be back here, providing support for your teammates in case the enemy is coming from over here or over here. You're a marksman. Use it as a marksman rifle. If you get yourself in the front lines, you're gonna get overwhelmed with enemies. Automatons or Terminite. This weapon, though, the marksman rifles are way more useful against the automatons rather than the Terminite, but it's still useful in both scenarios. Against the automatons, you need to do good when aiming. Aim for the weak spots, and you're going to be golden. For the Terminite, you also need to know how to aim, but most Terminites are more squishy, so it's not a problem. Energy-based weapons. The Sight. This is a headshot machine or a weak spot killer. Very useful against automatons and Terminite. The problem is that, you need to know how to aim it. It can kill the lights and the mediums really well. The heavies, you're not gonna do much against them. That's just how primary weapons work anyways. Like, I'm gonna go back to that again over and over again because some people don't learn. But that's how it is. Like, they're not gonna be very effective against the heavy dudes. You can't get the job done. It's just gonna take a lot of ammo, luck, aiming, time, whatever. But this thing absolutely kills enemies as long as you know where to aim and know how to aim. The Sickle is a new laser weapon that comes with the new Warbound, and it's an extremely beautiful weapon. Oh, by the way, the Sight, it's more than crowd control. It's more for a heavy hitter or a medium killer or a light killer, but singular shots. You want to be using a similar tactic to the... You want to be engaging from medium range, not long range, unless you are very good at aiming. And short range, it's not ideal. You can get it done, but it's gonna be hard. It's not that great for crowd control though. Just keep that in mind. Sickle though, it's very good at crowd control, very good firing rate. It has a little spool down time, so it's gonna take a little bit of time for you to actually start shooting. You just have to get used to it, but it's very good. Very good at killing, extremely good at killing the light things. Very, very good at killing lights. Mediums require a little bit more aiming, but it's extremely good at doing that too. And the heavies, of course, you shouldn't bother, but if you don't have any choice, just aim for the weak spot. Just like any other primary weapon. The Class 1 Scorcher, which, if I remember correctly, that is the new shotgun that we got. The arc shotgun, essentially. I hope that's the one that I'm thinking about. If it's not, then it's gonna be tough. But that one, it's a tough one. I personally didn't like it. I've been using it already, and it's not great. The main thing about that arc thrower shotgun, though, is the fact that it does have quite a bit of like a interruption mechanic or trait to it. It has very good knockback. Like, it doesn't push them back, but it definitely stops everything in this track if it doesn't kill it. So like light dudes, okay. So light dudes, they immediately die without any issues. Medium get stunned to death essentially. You can just stun them over and over again. They will not be able to recover. Main issue is that it's extremely slow firing, and yeah, it's mostly a crowd control, but it's not a crowd killer. Essentially, it just controls the crowd pretty well. It stops them on their tracks, but it doesn't kill them. I've used them against the Terminites and against the automatons. It's okay against Terminites. I think it's a little bit better against automatons though. But again, it's a very it's mostly for stunning enemies. I mean, the good thing about it is that it does have infinite ammo, so you are able to use it, I mean, forever without having to worry about it. Just good luck trying to, kill medium dudes. It's gonna take a little bit. Definitely useful though if you have a lot of medium enemies. This thing will stop them in their tracks, giving your buddies a chance to engage them, throw nades or whatever. One of the things that I like to do is like, oh, there's a bunch of you. I'm gonna throw a nade, I'm gonna stun you, and then the nade's gonna detonate and it's gonna kill all of you. It works very well doing that. Explosive, the YAR 5 Dominator. That's a heavy hitter. It's not a crowd control. It's very good at killing the lights, not a problem. And it's really good at killing the mediums, not a problem, as long as you know how to aim. So we'll put a little bit of yellow in there, because, yeah, as long as you know how to aim. It can definitely kill the heavies. You really know how to, you really need to know how to aim for them to be able to kill these things. Titans, though, and, dropships or gun towers or tanks, use a stratagem. Don't use your primary for those. Not a good idea to use your primary. Again, primaries are better suited for clearing light things and sometimes dealing with the medium guys too. It's better to deal with the light dudes rather than the heavy dudes or the medium dudes. So just keep that in mind. Now on to the support weapons. LMGs, the machine gun. This one in specific, the MG43, it's a beautiful weapon that can absolutely effectively deal with the medium guys and the light guys in both fronts. And the heavy dudes, it depends on what heavy you're fighting. If it's the Hulk, it can be done, but you need good positioning or, good aim. Spears, good positioning or good aim. Stalkers, it's actually fairly effective against stalkers. And brute commanders, they actually go down fairly quickly. And hive guards too. Chargers, it's gonna take a little bit of aiming with that. And then the tanks and the heavies, it's a red. You are gonna have to expend a lot of your ammunition in those. Again, machine gun, the heavy machine gun should be used for crowd control rather than the heavy killers. And for medium, it clears the waves pretty quickly and it kills the mediums really well. Should be used to do that. Okay. Now, on the other hand, the stalwart, this one comes with the other one also comes with both machine guns come with a fire selector, as in like with a fire rate selector. They are very useful at dealing with the crowds. Medium range to short range. Longer ranges is a little bit finicky. You have to crouch prone or something like that in order for you to actually hit your shots, unless you are a god gamer. But yeah, stalwart. It's a little bit more different than the machine gun. You have to use it like this one is most, how to describe it? It's rather than a support weapon, it feels more like a better primary. That's what it feels like, the stalwart. Also comes with a fire selector, 700, 850, and 1000 and 1150. You definitely need to put it on the higher fire rate. Put it on the highest fire rate, and then it's going to be a lot better. But again, the stalwart should be used for light troops, mostly, because the medium dudes, you're definitely going to be running through a lot of ammo. except for like the Hive Guard and the Scout Strider. You can actually kill those pretty well. Broad Commander is going to take more ammo. Stalker is going to take more ammo. Spear is going to take a bunch of ammo. But it also requires a little bit of aiming. Titans, Chargers, and all of that good stuff. No. Titans, I would say no. Don't do it. Chargers, I would say don't do it either. Concentrate on the little guys. Again, Stalwart is a crowd control weapon, not a heavy killer. It's a crowd control. Okay, use it as that. That's just how the machine guns are. Team material rifle. We'll go with the support items, the rifles, and team material rifle, autocannon, and the railgun. Essentially, the railgun, I'm hesitant to say that it's a better version of the anti-material rifle, because you do get it on level 20. It takes a little bit longer. And I mean, the anti-material rifle, you can actually get it very early on. I think it's like level 2 or 3. I don't remember which level you need. I think it's either level 2 or 3 when you can actually get the anti-material rifle. And the anti-material rifle, it's beautiful. This is not a crowd control. This is a heavy killer. It's okay-ish against the smaller dudes as long as you know how to aim, but don't recommend it for that. Use it to kill. You should probably use it to kill the big boys, the medium boys, rather. Now, if you're fine, you can actually kill Hulks with the anti-material rifle very, very easily, as long as you're hitting the weak spot. So, if you see the Hulk from the front, you actually see that they have a little red eye in the middle. It actually takes 2 shots from the anti-material rifle if you hit this spot right there. Extremely useful. That means that you can kill a lot more Hulks in less time with the anti-material rifle rather than with the rail cannon. Now, the rail cannon, it's more powerful, but it does require more skill for you to be able to use it efficiently. So the anti-material rifle, it's kind of like a trade-off between skill and usefulness against the heavy boys. Autocannon is a multi-purpose. Autocannon is very, very good. Autocannon is good at crowd control. It's good at heavy killer. It's essentially multi-purpose because you can actually do a lot of outpost clear with this thing. If you see the fabricators, they have the doors right here, and they have little vents on the top. With the autocannon, if you are facing let's see, this is the top view, so from the top. If you're facing the fabricator and you're right here, you can actually shoot the vents and the shot will bounce down, destroying the fabricator. If you are like over here, the shot is going to be bouncing that way. It's going to be hitting this and then bouncing that way. So you need to be facing the fabricators straight from the front if you want to destroy them. You can also aim at the open doors and destroy them from the front that way with the autocannon, so it's extremely useful. You can actually kill the broadcast towers too and the spore spewer with the autocannon. The autocannon is just the best multi-purpose tool out there in the game. It's extremely useful at doing everything. The only problem is that, you have to reload it. Also, remember, the autocannon has, the little, when you see the little magazine icon and it's about in the middle, reload your autocannon, because the autocannon takes 2 magazines. So the way that it works is that if you empty up the entire thing and you reload your autocannon, that means that you're going to have to recock the front of the thing. So it has like a little handle and then you just have to pull it back. It takes longer to reload. Just reload one at a time. That's what I'm saying. Reload as often as you can, because that first reload is faster than reloading the entire thing from zero. I mean, that is true for every weapon. Launchers. Very good against killing the heavy good. These 3, except for the grenade launcher, are extremely good at dealing with the heavy boys. Hulks, tanks, heavy boys being Titans, Chargers, Hulks, tanks, dropships, gun towers. They go down with the tanks, with the anti-tank weapons. Recoilless and what do you mean? Recoilless rifle and the one use anti-tank can absolutely kill the tanks, the drop ships, the hulks, the gun towers with one shot. For the drop ships, you want to aim at the little engines. So let's see, you have the dropship over here, right? You have your dropship, right? You want to aim at the engines. Aim at the engines with the recoilless or the anti-tank, and the entire thing is gonna go kaboom very easily. Hulks, same concept. The Hulk main weak spot is the right eye on the front, but you can also shoot the arms off with the anti-tank or recoilless. Tank, it takes a couple of shots on the turret side, unless you hit the back side. If you hit the back, it just works very beautifully. Titans, you need to hit them in the mouth if you can. In order for you to take them down, it takes a couple of shots, 2 to 3 shots, depending on how well the shots are placed. Damage is kind of finicky. Chargers, now with the new update, you can actually one-shot chargers if you hit them in the face. So just hit them in the face if you have that available to you. If you cannot see the face of the charger, you can always shoot one of the legs and then use your primary weapon to shoot the hell out of the legs. Or if you have, good positioning and the charger is coming straight for you, just shoot him in the face and you're going to be able to kill him with one shot. Spear is a multi-purpose weapon. It can deal with the hulks, the tanks, the dropships, the gun towers, the titans, and the chargers. No problem. It can even lock onto the brood commanders. You can kill absolutely everything with that thing. But it's also great at outpost clearing on the automaton side. So fabricators, gun towers, and a lot of the objectives from the automaton side will absolutely get obliterated with the spear. For the spear, though, you want to be on the medium to long range, because if you are very close, it's just going to go over the objective and you're not going to hit anything. Grenade launcher, it's a crowd control, but it's also great at doing outpost cleaning. It's a lot better against the... Oh, yeah, by the way, the spear cannot deal with the outpost clearing on the Terminite side of things. Those breach holes are not going to get locked on with the thing. So, yeah. But in the opposite way, the grenade launcher, it's great at clearing the outposts on the Terminite side, because you can close the breach holes very, very quickly with the grenade launcher. It's also very good at crowd control. It devastates the lights, and it struggles a little bit against the mediums. The heavies don't do it. Don't do it unless it's your last resort, and then you have nothing else. But yeah, flamethrower, crowd control, good against any light. Better against Terminite than automatons, but useful in both. Mostly for crowd control, though. It can absolutely kill the heavies, though. In the Terminite side, if you hit the charger, hit him on the leg. So you have your little charger dude with the big hulky legs and a little delicious body over here. Hit him in the legs. Burn their legs off. That's their weak spot. They are gonna die fairly quickly. Do not engage tanks, hulks, dropships, or gun towers with this thing. It's only really useful against the chargers with the Terminites. So flamethrower definitely against the Terminites rather than the automatons. Do whatever you want though. Laser cannon. This thing is amazing with a caveat. Only if you know how to aim. It can kill the lights very easily if you know how to aim. It can kill the mediums very easily if you know how to aim. It can kill the Hulk from the front too if you aim the Hulk. Again, if you aim at the Hulk on the red eye, can kill them from the laser cannon can kill the Hulk from the front. It can absolutely demolish a tank as long as you have good positioning and you're hitting the backside. So if you see the tanks have like a little battery on the back like that. Like a little yellow battery, right? If you use the laser cannon against this thing in about 2 to 3 seconds, the tank is going to die. Same applies for the gun towers. Gun towers go down fairly easily with the the thing as long as you're hitting that backside. Laser cannon is a lot better against automatons than the Terminites. I don't know why. It just doesn't feel like it does do that much damage against the mediums or the lights against the Terminite, but it still can be useful as long as you're hitting the weak spots. Spears on the mouth or the yell or the butt, essentially. Stalkers on the head. Brute commanders on the front legs. Hive guards on the little holes that they leave on or the backside. Titans, do not engage Titans. Laser cannon is absolutely not good against Titans or Chargers. Chargers is a little bit more easily handleable if you hit the legs, but that front armor on the Chargers it's a 50-50. Sometimes you're able to hit them on the legs and they die. Sometimes the laser doesn't do what it needs to do and it just bounces all over the place. Arc thrower, don't sleep on their arc thrower. Very, very good. You just have to be careful. That is like the main issue with the arc thrower. Being careful with it. If you're using the arc thrower, just be careful. If you're here and you have a bunch of enemies right there, the arc thrower can absolutely obliterate all of that. But if you see your buddy somewhere over here, do not shoot the arc thrower. If your buddy is over here, you need to move this way and shoot that way to protect your buddies from yourself. Okay? The arc thrower has a deceptively long range. About 200 meters or so, you are actually able to hit things without any issues. It's a little finicky up close. The closer they are, the more finicky the arc thrower gets, because it doesn't like to get locked on onto some enemies when they are very, very close. It's a very good weapon against Terminite and automatons. It's just more useful against the Terminite. This one, it's a multi-purpose. The arc thrower, it's a multi-purpose. Can deal with it because he can actually deal with the lights, the mediums on both fronts without too many issues. And he can absolutely deal with the heavy dudes as long as you know. It's gonna take some time though. It takes quite a bit of shots, but he can actually kill them very good, like fairly good, especially Chargers. Hulks takes a little bit more. Tanks take a whole lot more. Dropships, don't think about it. Like, dropships are not gonna be going down with the arc thrower. Gun towers, it takes a little bit, but you can definitely kill gun towers with that. Don't sleep on the arc thrower just because it's a dangerous weapon. Just be careful with it. That's it. You just have to be careful with it. Grenades, use whatever the hell you want. The stun grenade is actually fairly useful, but it doesn't destroy outposts, fabricators, or the whole breaches on the Terminite side. Neither does smoke. Smoke doesn't do that either. Impact grenades, frags, high explosive, and incendiaries can kill the fabricators and the bug breach holes without any issues. That's it for the primary weapons. Let's do... oh, Jesus Christ. The stratagems as fast as we can. Start with the supply backpacks. Guard dog. Extremely useful against Terminite, not so useful against automatons, mostly because automatons, you want to be fighting them from pretty far away. You don't want to be close to them if you can help it. With the Terminite, you cannot help it. They will be close to you. But you can use it to run around or away from the Terminite, and it will get some kills. Pretty good. Main issue is that, that it kills friendlies, it kills you. It takes a little while to get used to the backpack because it does have a tendency of trying to lock onto things and sometimes killing you or your allies. It just takes care of, just be careful with it too. I don't know what's with the guard dog, dude, trying to kill allies and whatnot, but it is what it is. Regular guard dog, It's more useful against the automatons rather than the Terminite because this thing has, my goodness, very, very good accuracy. Like the medium dudes, they're gonna be dying, really, except for this dude because of the armor in the middle. But everything else, the Devastators, like any type of Devastator and the Berserkers, they die very quickly against the Guard Dog because the Guard Dog shoots for the weak spots on the automaton side. So it's really good against automatons, not that good against Turbinite. And the opposite is true for the Guard Dog, Rover, the laser one. Laser one is very good against the Terminite, but not that good against the automatons. You can use it in both scenarios, not a problem. Just be careful with friendly fire. Jump pack is extremely useful when moving around the map. More useful against Terminite than automatons, but very useful against the map itself. Very good for mobility. If you want to get the achievement on Steam of killing a charger with, the supply beacon or the supply thing, the resupply, use the backpack to get into the high ground, wait for the charger to get stuck below you, throw the resupply, profit. Very good for mobility, dodging things and whatnot. A little bit more useful against the Terminite because when you are in the air, very few Terminites can actually hit you in the air. Automatons on the other side, you will be becoming a easy target. You're going to be like a duck trying to fly into the air. Supply backpack is extremely useful in any and all scenarios, especially if you're going by yourself away from your teammates. It's still very useful when you are close to your teammates and we are struggling with the resupply thing. It's very, very useful. You should, if you want to be like fully supporting your team, well, stay close to your team, resupply them, whatnot, right? If you're going to be going solo and doing your own thing, that way you can bring this thing and don't call supplies. You can also pair it up with something like the grenade launcher. With the grenade launcher or any of the machine guns and let those baby rip as much as you want because now you have 4 supply things on your back, which means that you can do absolutely a lot of damage and do not have to worry about any ammo at all whatsoever. Very good. Shield Generator backpack is still very useful against Terminite and the automatons. It's essentially, if you don't know how to if you're taking it against the automatons, it's because you don't know how to take cover. You should be using a lot of cover against the automatons. But it's still very, very useful to keep you, alive. Just remember, once the shield goes down, it's going to take quite a while to come back. It should not be used as I'm a tank now. It should be mostly used as oh god, I was caught out of position, or I was caught in a bad position or in a bad place. This thing just saved me. That's how it should be used. You do not become a tank with this. You try not to become a hero with that. You can also shield your allies with this. They don't have one. If you're like running away from the automatons, be the one who is behind protecting everybody with your shield. Works really well. If you are in the Terminite side of things, you don't run into the enemy and be like caught by everybody because once that shield goes down, the Terminite will kill you. They can even the Terminite will hit you even if you have the shield up. They will, ignore the shield sometimes. So it's a little bit more finicky against the Terminite, but it's still very, very useful. Again, it should be only used as oh shoot, I got caught by surprise. I gotta get out of jail free card here. That's how it's used. Ballistic shield, do not take it against the Terminite. It's not useful against the Terminite. If you're using one of the SMGs, it's very, very useful to get that shield against the automatons. If you're taking it against the automatons, crouch, don't move, and shoot. The problem is mobility is extremely important in Helldivers 2. Momentum is even more important, but it's mostly useful against the automatons. Small arms fire. The main difference between the shield generator and the ballistic shield is that the ballistic shield doesn't recharge. It's just there forever and ever. The only problem is that if you're dealing with explosives or heavy things, it's not gonna be doing too well. But if it's a small arms fire, oh hell yeah, this thing absolutely protects you from all of the small arm fire ever without any issues. So long as you're not running around with it all over the place. It's better to aim it towards the enemy and actually aim your weapon so that it protects you a little bit better. Use it with the SMG, any of the SMGs, and you're going to be doing a whole lot better. Or use it with, I don't know, the revolver or a pistol or secondary. But problem is, it's mostly for survivability rather than becoming a tank. But it's definitely mostly useful against the automatons. The way that I used this before is I would bring either the anti-material rifle or the rail gun, and then in between reloads, I would turn around, face the other way. So let's say I'm here, I have my shield on the back, and I'm shooting like that way at the enemy over here. I would shoot them, and then when I'm reloading, I would turn around, face that way. And the shield would protect me from some small arms fire from the automaton side. Then once I'm done reloading, I will turn back around and start shooting them again. And it was actually fairly useful. It actually did protect me quite a bit of times doing that. So it's not a bad thing. All right, moving on. Defensive should be used to defend positions. All of them. Except for this most of the sentries. Tesla Tower, anti-personnel minefield, incendiary mines, they should be used. And sometimes the heavy machine gun emplacement should be used to defend positions. Keep in mind that the Tesla Tower, it's a whole lot more useful against the Terminite than the automatons, because automatons can shoot these babies. And same goes for every and any single turret over here. Automatons will shoot your turrets, so be mindful of where you place them, because they are going to get shot by the enemy and targeted by the enemy. Terminites will absolutely target your turrets before they target you sometimes, because your turrets are more of a threat to them than yourself. That's just how it works. Mortar sentry, be mindful of it. Make sure to tell your teammates, hey, I'm throwing in a mortar. Watch out, don't get close to the enemies. And make sure to put it behind cover. Like, if you see a lot of enemies over here, and you're going to be engaging them, and there's like a wall of cover over here, or rocks, or whatever, throw your turret over here. So that way, the enemy has to go around in order to do anything to it, right? Or take it in the defense missions. In defense missions, it's absolutely terrifying. This thing absolutely kills everything. EMS mortar sentry is extremely useful in every and all situations. It slows down the enemy and stops them on their tracks, big or small. It just takes a little bit of time for the mortar sentry to actually shoot. But it can definitely stop everything on their tracks. Very extremely helpful again in the, defense missions if you are struggling with enemies overrunning you. Useful against Terminite or automatons, not a problem. Machine gun sentry, some people argue that it's a worse version of the Gatling gun sentry, and they would be kind of right. But the machine gun sentry has a little bit more ammo, or at the very least lasts a little bit longer than the Gatling sentry. But it doesn't have that much of a, stomping power as the Gatling sentry does. My main thing with any of the sentries, autocannon or rocket. Well, actually, I want to point out something. Autocannon, very good. Super long distance on range. And rocket sentry has normal range, a little bit closer. Main difference is that the autocannon will target everything, small, medium, large, without any regard of distance or anything at all. And the rocket sentry will mainly try to aim at the bigger targets. So if you have the rocket sentry and you have small targets here and big targets over here, and you have your rocket sentry over here, this rocket sentry will try to target these guys first rather than these guys. The auto cannon sentry will target these guys first and then these guys. That's just something to point out. Some people don't know that. And then what else? For every single turret emplacement or whatever, mainly for the turrets, make sure that you put them in the funnel if you can. If you put your sentry in an open field, the sentry has to take care of everything over here. And it takes some time for it to turn around. And not only that, but you leave it vulnerable from the enemies from all sides. Like, it will get rushed from all sides. It will not be able to deal with everything. And it will die. However, if you find yourself like a rock or something, and you put it like right here, now it only needs to take care of this much instead of this, right? So thinking in the defense side of things, if you find yourself a place where you can put it that it has a lot of protection back here, and you put your turret here, now it can only shoot like on this thing, and it will absolutely shred everything that tries to get close to it. No enemies are going to be able to get through here, so they're going to have to go around and get over here. And now your turret doesn't have to traverse that much in order to target the things that are over here. So it's better to put them smartly if you can. You know, be smart about your placement of the turrets and let your teammates know too. Like, hey, turret here. So otherwise they're going to die. Same for the anti-personnel, but for the minefield. Minefields are good if you have a choke point. Throw the minefield over here, and then everything that tries to come across will get blown up to pieces, or at the very least soften up. But if you are in an open field and you throw your minefield over here, you're gonna forget about it, and you're gonna be trying to traverse, and you're gonna end up killing yourself or your allies. Let them know. You can ping the little thing that has the flaps open that throws the mines all over the place. You can actually ping that thing and let your teammates know, like, hey, minefield here, so that they don't die. Better use against defense missions. Effective. All of the turrets are effective against automatons or terminite. So there you have it. Shield. The shield urinator is an amazing tool that everybody should be using against the automatons. At the very least, one member of your team, because it creates cover in case that you, in the case that you are in the open, you don't have any cover around. Throw that shield up, and now you and your buddies are gonna have protection from everything. It actually tanks quite a bit of shots. Can save your life. If you are fighting against automatons and you want to be using turrets, you can put your turrets down and then put a shield generator around them, and now they have even more survivability. Very, very good against automatons. Very useless against terminite, because terminite don't care about your shields. They just kind of walk in, and that's it. Be mindful of where you place your shield generator too. If you have like a horde of enemies and you are running away from the enemies, don't throw the shield over here, because the enemies are gonna go in, and then now they have protection. So just be mindful of that. Orbitals, precision strike, very short cooldown. Great at taking out objectives, tanks, and things that are stationary. If they are stationary or very slow, orbital precision strike is going to kill them. Heavy things like the tank or the gun tower, or sometimes the titans and the chargers. Mostly useful against automatons and their objectives, but it can be used against the terminite and their objectives or heavies, as long as you know your timing. If you know how to time this thing, it absolutely kills the big boys with very easily. And it has a pretty short cooldown, and even shorter when you upgrade your ship. I think because I have all the upgrades, I only get like 70 seconds cooldown, which is very, very good. Can kill a lot of things. Air burst. Kill things, small things. Medium things will sometimes relatively easily die to this thing. Heavy things will probably not die. Not unless all 3 shots actually hit like a weak spot or something. Otherwise, yeah, this is for crowd clearing. The orbital air burst is extremely useful when you know the diamond points that you can find all over the place, the points of interest. You can clear that thing with the orbital fairly quickly without any issues. Or sometimes you are doing like a secondary main objective, like the generator that you have to turn on, and the generator has like a bunch of enemies on all over the place. Just throw the orbital in there. That thing will shred most of the things that are guarding that thing, and it will only leave you with like the medium dudes. The orbital will definitely kill mediums, not a problem. Lights too, in both fronts. Very useful. If you're using against the automatons, if you see the dropship, you cannot take it down, and the dropship has stopped, and it's about to throw things down. Throw the orbital, and by the time the ship lifts and the enemy is right there, they're gonna get bombarded with shrapnel from the sky, and a lot of the things are gonna die. That's how you use it. 120 millimeter Chibaraj, really good at clearing outposts and really good at clearing groups that are trying to follow you or to deny areas. So if you're here and you see a lot of enemies over here, throw it somewhere here. If they are moving this way, this entire area is going to be denied. Or if you see an outpost with a lot of structures and holes and things, just throw it straight in the middle, and most of those things are going to die. Very good at clearing the heavy outpost and things like that. Our little 380 is about the same, just bigger explosions, bigger things, bigger area of denial, and bigger outposts that you can take care of without any issues at all whatsoever. Walking barrage, about the same as this too. It just has direction, so it's very good at clearing outposts and things like that, or denying an area. If you're here, a bunch of enemies are here, and they're coming your way. Throw the barrage somewhere in here, and everything in the pad is gonna die. Very, very useful. However, if you're using the 380, 120, or the walking barrage, let your teammates know so that they know, and give them like, if you're using the walking, let them know like, hey, it's gonna be walking that way, or it's gonna go that way, so they know. Orbital laser, I absolutely despise the orbital laser because it's horrible. It has the longest cooldown. A lot of people say that this thing is the best and whatnot. I disagree. You do you and use whatever the hell you want. I personally don't like it because of that stupidly long cooldown. Even with the upgrades, it takes a long time. And you only get 3 uses too, which is even worse. However, though, if you're trying to clear an outpost or you are seeing that you're about to be overrun, there's going to be a bunch of enemies, use this thing. It will kill the outpost very quickly, especially the automaton's outpost. This thing will absolutely destroy them. The heavy outpost will be gone with the orbital laser. However, don't use it. If you're in the terminal side, don't use the orbital to try to kill titans or chargers. It takes a whole freaking minute. I don't know. It takes such a long time to kill these things. It will not kill these things very fast. It will only, you will waste it. Okay, don't use it to do that. If you're fighting the terminals, use it to kill an enormous amount of mediums of lights. If you're seeing like, oh my god, there's so many mediums of lights, use the orbital. You should be able to kill all of that very fast, very easily. Charges of titans will take like an entire freaking minute of that laser for them to go down. It will kill one titan, move to the next thing, and then it's done. Don't use it against those. Tanks and Hulks will go down faster than the Titans or the Chargers. Why? I have no idea. Orbital Gatling Barrage. This is an area of denial, very small and for a single target. Very good at clearing things like the points of interest. If you are dealing with the points, if you are dealing with this points of interest, the little diamonds, and you see enemies laying around in there, you can definitely use the Gatling Barrage to kill the smaller dudes. Don't expect it to deal with the big dudes or the heavy dudes. Orbital Gas Strike is very useful against smaller things, but the thing is, this will not kill unless they are not moving. If they are not moving, it's gonna kill them. If they are moving, it's not going to kill them. It's going to soften them up for you, depending on how you use it. The best way that I find it against the automatons is when the dropship is dropping things. You can throw it in the pad where the dropship is, and it will soften them up. At the very least, it's going to be a lot easier to kill those automatons with the gas, after the gas. If you are fighting the Terminite, and now they have a freaking breach hole, and you see a smoke coming out, throw that freaking stratagem of gas right there in the middle. It takes some time for the Terminites to come up and then start walking around. Most of them will die. At the very least, the smaller ones will die before they even get a chance to move out of the way. You can use the Orbital Gas Strike in tandem with the EMS mortar or the EMS strike to stop them on their tracks, and then let the gas do as much damage as possible. Orbital Smoke should be used to disengage from the enemy or confuse the enemy. If you are fighting a lot of automatons and you're like, F this, I need to get out of here, Orbital Smoke will, give you some cover for you to be able to disengage the enemy and move out of the way. This thing is also extremely useful when you are evacuating scientists. If you throw a lot of smoke into the field, nobody's going to be able to kill anything unless they are very, very close together. Okay? It works really well against automatons. Works kind of okay against Terminite. Eagle straight from wrong is to kill smaller dudes and do some damage to the medium dudes. A lot of uses, very fast, in case you're being chased and in case they are in line. If the enemies are like in line and you are like right here and you throw it that way, the Eagle Strike is gonna go and bram swift and kill most of these things. As long as they are little guys. If they are mediums, they're probably not going to die. They have a chance of dying, but more than likely they will not. Eagle Strike is extremely useful against everything and everything. It's a multi-purpose thing. You want the fabricators to be gone, this thing works. You want the gun towers to be gone, this thing works. You want tanks, hulks, things like that to be gone, this thing works. It will not kill the heavies in a single volley most of the time. Sometimes you do get lucky and you are able to bring them down, even the Vile Titan. But if it doesn't kill them, at the very least, it softens them up. It's a very useful, very versatile tool. Cluster bomb, just let your teammates know and try, let him know. Cluster incoming. If you're here and you have a bunch of enemies coming your way, like that way, try to move here and throw it somewhere over here, and then start moving that way. Or rather, start moving this way. That way, when the thing comes, it will cover this entire area, and you are a little bit far away from the thing. If you are right here and you throw it that way. Remember, eagle strikes, or most of the napalm, the cluster, the airstrike, when you call them up like that, they will come like this, in this angle. That's the angle of the eagle. Either that or that. It's completely no, it's not parallel. It's perpendicular to you. That's what it is. Yep. It's perpendicular to you. Eagle strafing run and the 110 millimeter rocket pods are parallel to where you throw them. Okay. Napalm strike, area denial, or to deal with the smaller dudes. More effective against the Terminite than the automatons. Everything that I'll talk about, it's if I don't specify which one is better against, it's because it's good against both. Eagle smoke strike, same as the orbital. If you are disengaging, very good. If you are trying to confuse your enemy or yourselves, very good. 110 millimeter rocket pods are more efficient against automatons than the Terminite. If you are fighting Terminites, Titans, and Chargers take a couple of rockets sometimes to actually kill them. Hulks, tanks, and gun towers will actually die with one volley. As long as the Eagle is not drunk and she actually hits the targets. That's the caveat. The Eagle's pilot needs to be, not drinking on the job, and then you're going to be golden. And the 500 kilogram bomb. I think they buffed the 500 kilogram bomb because it feels like the AoE is a whole lot better. But it used to be like this. This was the bomb. And then the visual effect of the bomb was like this. So it looked like that big. And the AoE damage, was like this. Right? And then anywhere in between over here, you would just get flunked out into the ragdoll state, right? It would just throw you into the ground, not actually killing you. So the best way to use the 50 is like, oh no, I'm getting chased. I'm gonna go that way and throw it right here so that the enemy walks on top of it, and when it lands, it kills most of the stuff in there. Bile Titans and Chargers will die with one of those things as long as it lands either right on top of them or like next to them. It will one-shot them, not a problem. And Titans and Chargers are very predictable. They will charge you and walk a straight line towards you. Same with the Hulks, the tanks. Those will try to chase you down. Hulks are a little bit more unpredictable. And tanks are extremely slow, so they are an easy target. Gun towers are also an easy target. But I wouldn't use it against that because most of the time the tower is going to be like right here. And the bomb, instead of landing right on top, it's going to land like right here, or right here, or right here, or just anywhere around. And it will not kill it. It will just make it smoke, and that's it. Which is not the greatest thing ever. But it's extremely useful, this. But again, it feels like the bomb got a little bit of a buff or something, because now the visual effect is like right here. And now it feels like the dead zone is like around there now. Like it's actually a little bit bigger now. At the very least, that's what it feels like. Cannot confirm or deny. It just feels like that. And there you go. That's every single weapon, every single stratagem in the game that we talked about today. Oh my god, I'm tired. That's a lot of talking. I don't even know if anybody was seeing this. Hopefully I was live streaming it the way that I was thinking that I was supposed to live stream it. If not, it is what it is. Anyways, I'm probably going to be trying to make a video out of this and see if I can salvage anything. If not, we'll see. I will see you guys on the next one. If you have any questions and you're actually watching this, let me know right now. You have about 10 seconds to let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'm going to be cutting the live stream here. Oh my god, that was an hour and 15 minutes of talking. Jesus Christ. That is a lot of talking. I usually don't talk that much. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Good luck out there, and hopefully you found this helpful. Bye-bye. Oh,